Hi guys, I'm doing a spread. I was sort of thinking about it probably over the last couple of days. I think I posted something on my Instagram about doing this spread, and what came up, there's been lots of changes, not dramatic, but quite subtle kind of changes and frequencies and energy, and so I wanted to share this one with you because it's quite personal. And if you've been sort of been following my journey so far, how I've talked about moving, this transition from where I am now in the family home, where I live with my son, and well, I shouldn't really say conventional, but in the traditional sense, I guess, in my mind anyway, that when your child left home, you were called an empty nester. And in this scenario is very different. Being a single mum, my son is of an age where he can do whatever he wants, he can go out and explore. But the situation is where I am the one that is making the move. I'm the one that's making the change. And it's been a decision that I have been grappling with for at least a couple of years. And now it's coming to a point where it's getting very close. It's getting very close to this big, there's no words that sort of really describe what I really want to say. And I think that's what it is. It's a real subtle thing. It's not like a slap in the face or anything. There's no drama. It's just a decision that I've made that I need to make for myself. And now that might seem really selfish and people may not understand, but that's okay. Everybody is in a different space, and like my name suggests, that my channel name is My Spiritual Shoes. So these are the shoes that I make. These are the choices that I make. These are the shoes that I choose to put on and walk in. We are all so different. So what I wanted to do was, I've decided to call it the Connected and Moving Spread. And I've used the Tarot of the Magical Forest, and I've used the Game of Thrones tarot, which I thought was kind of interesting. And you think it'd be quite devoid of, how would that join together? But once we sort of get into the spread, I will share that. So we have a 5-card spread. I don't really care how it sort of rolls out. We're just going to go through the prompts or the questions, and you'll see how this spread unfolded for me personally, the Connected and Moving spread. And it's heavily based on family, on how different a family can look. And I want to emphasize that word connected, because the relationship that I have with, I'm going to get all teary now, the relationship I have with my son, we are so connected, so connected. And if you've watched any of my videos before, I've spoken about how much I wanted to have my son. Anyway, we're not going to go down that track because I'm just going to cry. So we're just going to have some coffee. Oh my gosh, that's good. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first prompt or first question is, where am I now? So the first cards that came out were the Ace of Swords and the Tower of the Magical Forest, and the Queen of Swords, Cersei. And I tell you what, I was really relieved. I don't know if anybody watches Game of Thrones. If you do, you certainly know this character, she is so cold, but there are certain aspects of her where you feel her love for her family, her love for her children, and how much she would do for them. Now, where I am now, I have supported my son and try to, like the birds that are ready to fly and they're on the edge of the nest and it's very tentative for them and they're very hesitant in making that step. And I feel like I've been there for so long. I feel like I've been here for at least a couple of years. Even before that, where I've tried to push the situation of making my son more ready for the world, ready to make that step. And the conversation that I had with him yesterday is, because we rent and, the people are wanting to get an appraisal on the house and the way that I communicated that message was, we need to move out now. And I'm wanting to move into my own space. This is a very different situation, and you may be thinking, wow, that's really cold. But this has been an ongoing conversation I've been having with him for at least a couple of years, where I've been trying to get him ready to make that move, to step out into the world. So seeing the Queen of Swords, she embodies that. She embodies that decision of, yes, it can seem cold, it can seem calculated, it can seem not quite what you would seem or quite what you would imagine, but it's different. It's different for a lot of people. The mother role encapsulates lots of different things for different people. And as you can imagine, it's not an easy decision to make. It's not an easy decision to say to your child, you need to make that move. I don't have, like I was trying to get at before, the traditional sense of this is the home where I raised you. This is, the home that I own. This is not the family home. I do not want to settle here. We've been here for a long time and it's time to move. This house is not the space where I want to continue to be, where I can see my journey, my own personal journey to be. And I want him to be ready. I've been preparing him for this moment. So I was really grateful to see this card. Then we move on to the next part of the spread. So number 2, I've called the Crossroads. And we've come up with the Queen of Cups, which I thought was lovely. Being at the crossroads and there's a stream, it's not a raging river. She is sitting there and she's almost got like this armchair sort of view of where she's at. There's this beautiful sunset. She has everything that she needs and she's quite capable of offering. She's coming from that stream of love. There is a never-ending stream of love. And this is the part that I wanted to sort of say was, that connected part. So she is a very different queen to the Queen of Swords, but she's also a queen. So she is sitting on a throne, and this is the space where, this is the crossroads. This is where I am at the minute. Well, not quite there. Maybe in another 6 months I can see this playing out. But she is always there, and that's the point that I've tried to make to my son is no matter where we are, because this will probably be the last time we will be living together, but that doesn't change the fact of who we are and our relationship. Wherever you travel, wherever I travel, we will always be connected. And then we have the Four of Spears, or the Four of Wands. So I feel like this will be a pleasant outcome. As you can see, this is a very lush surroundings where there are two people walking through the garden. I can't remember what this scene is here. Is it Queen Marjorie? I'm not too sure. I can't remember. I've got the book right here as well. But it's it's a garland. There's a kind of celebration that's happened at the crossroads, where it's just a beautiful setting. It's a beautiful environment. And I think that's a very gentle way, just like the Queen of Cups. It's a very gentle way of looking at the crossroads. We're not going to be, we're still connected. Then we head into the third prompt, which is open road. The Two of Swords, little kitty. Can you see how calm it is? And she is obviously on a quite solid, firm foundation there, where she is going to hopefully make her decision. So yeah, the open road can be quite scary, and this is another thing that was brought up yesterday, is the point where we've come to. That open road, all that space, all those decisions that you need to make. You've just got to make one. It's your decision. I watch Modern Spirituality, and he did a video on decisions and self-doubt, and the fact that you make decisions every single day. Why do we doubt ourselves? Why do we come to that point where we go, oh gee, I don't think that was a good decision? But at the time, it was what you needed. It was like empowering yourself that every single day you make the right choice. You do know what you need. It's a matter of taking it. And then with that card, we have the Four of Coins. So these two go really well. There's this hesitancy to make a choice, and this one of, I'm not ready to let go. That very based earth sign. So we've got this earth sign, this very concrete, stable, solid foundation. And look what he's surrounded by. He is surrounded by all this material. Why are we so wanting to be connected to this space? Okay, next one is release. So this is number 4 in the spread, and we're going to have some more coffee. So what is it that needs to be released? So we've gone from the Two of Swords to the Eight of Swords. That says it all, really. So there's still more things to release. There's still more things we think we are unsure of. And yes, we are a little bit further away from home now. I love this little picture of the little Puss in Boots. It can be quite scary where we don't want to look at things. We don't want to look at, I'm not in that space where I used to be. I'm not in the comfort of the home that I created. I'm in a totally different space where I'm not ready to look at yet. I don't know what it looks like yet. but yet I'm here. I'm here. I'm not here. So yet we have traveled quite a long way. And maybe there is more of this transition time, more of this moving. We haven't yet established what we would like, and maybe some things need to die away, maybe some things need to fall away that we don't need to take with us. I think this is another important card to say, talking about minimalism, we need to let that go. Whatever doesn't want to come with us, just let it drop. Obviously, there's times when we're going to pause in our journey and take a bit of a rest, take a bit of a time, but to have another look. So maybe it's a matter, a moment or 24 hours just to say, hey, I'm just going to close my eyes, I'm just going to take some time, I'm going to meditate, I'm just going to have that space to myself where I can sort of breathe. It doesn't have to be this space of anxiety or stress, or even though that could be quite a stressful situation, but just to take another view on it. It doesn't have to be all drama. And then we have the choices. So obviously the Eight of Swords was like overloaded with all the choices. But if you take that time to meditate and really tune in to the choices and the decisions, the one that you want will hopefully be illuminated. And the last part of the spread, we have take a step forward. I really wanted to encourage, even if it seems like a totally far out sort of thought, a far out kind of, how can I get there? If you take that step forward, it's just one step. More coffee. I feel like I've got quite a lot of things, where I thought wasn't possible, but to take a step forward, we have the Three of Cups. This is what I want to encapsulate. This is what it sort of represents. I think of the Fool card. He doesn't know that step, but yet he takes it. And here we are, the Three of Cups are celebrating. They're coming together in harmony. I feel like it's quite a joyful situation where you do take that step. I feel this is a very unknown to me, this situation, to be connected and moving. And when you're talking about your loved ones, when you're talking about the people that are like the center of your universe, it sort of thinks, well, we are still here. We are still here. We are still joining together in celebration. It may just look different. It may look very different, but that doesn't mean that we can't come together at a later stage, wherever we land, wherever we move to. We can still come together and celebrate. And I think this is so perfect. The Ace of Coins. This is so perfect for that seed, for growing, for where that space you want to establish yourself. And this is in a place where, for me, I just got chills then. It's a new space. It could be a new place to build your home, a new environment, a new setting, new energy, this growth, this place of newness, and something to establish, something to build, something to call your own. That's what I sort of feel like the Ace of Coins is offering, something to call your own. And it's I can't tell you how much I have turned this corner where I have viewed my life in such a different way now, where it's possible for me to actually own something. You know, get out of that rant trap and own my own home. I never thought I would utter those words. But I can see it, and this card just encapsulates it all. Like, it's a precious thing when you come to that realization that, yes, I can have this. I can do it. I can do it. And I want to show my son that, even though it's not a conventional route, even though it's not a traditional route of the child leaving home and he goes off into the world and makes his mark on the world, I feel like I'm giving myself this opportunity as well. And then in turn, he can see that I am doing it and that he can do it too, you know? I really enjoyed doing this spread. I felt like I needed something to open a window to. You know, that's what I was trying to get at before. It doesn't have to be this great big dramatic thing that shifts. It can be something as purely simple as opening a window and letting that fresh air in, or letting, you know, putting on a candle and letting it illuminate the space where you're just working. If that's all the thing that you can see at the moment, then let that guide you. I feel like I'm getting on a bit of a rant. So this is called the Connected and Moving Spread, and I used Tarot of the Magical Forest and the Game of Thrones tarot. Thank you for being here, lovely people. I've got some more videos coming out, and I will see you in the next one.